Hi, my name is Tutu Ariyo, and I just want to share some few things with us about some news I saw that is trendy on the social media platform about a young lady that is a young child that is involved in sex scandal. And I'm not here to actually judge or blame anyone or to take sides with anybody or to, you know, but just here to encourage parents or guidance on some things about parenting, about race consciousness or awareness of what else we can do to help this um, coming generation, this generation. Right. So a child is a gift from God, and that is one thing which I want us to agree on or to be aware of. And we as parents, I have three. I'm blessed with three teenagers of my own. A child is a gift from God, and we as parents, we're going to give account to God of how we have been able to, keep this gift, help this gift, help it to grow. And one amazing thing which I know is that we're going to give accounts. So, how are you intentionally raising your teenagers, your children? It's something which we all have to be very mindful of and not just push to one side. Every little action you take has a compounding effect on a teenager or on a child. I've been in teenage ministry for well over 20 years, close to 30 years now. Anyone that knows me know that I'm passionate about them, helping teenagers to be better at who they are, to be the better person, and helping their parents to have a loving relationship with their teenagers. How else can we have done this? How can we do this better? How can we help our children? How can we help this generation? Many parents have told me, yes, I'm good. I'm good because my parents taught me this certain way, and I'm bent on using this same method to actually train up my child. Hello? When you were growing up, there was no social media. There was no Snapchat. There was no Instagram. So the amount of pressure these teenagers are going through is mind blowing. The things, information that is coming to them from left, right, and center. Do it like this. This is how it should be. This is what good looks like on every direction. How do you expect them to cope if you don't talk to them, debrief them every day? Have discussion with your teenagers. Talk to them. Don't just talk at them. Have discussion. Hi, how are you? How was school today? And they say, you fine, okay. Hello, what is fine? What is okay? My children know that there's nothing called fine, there's nothing called okay. Give me a verb. Are you tired? How was school today? Are you happy? You have to say something apart from fine or okay. There's nothing called that in my diary. You have to tell me what is happening in one word or two. Then later we come back and we discuss about it. When issues happen with you, how do you deal with it? Do you expose your children to your pattern of thought of dealing with issues? And when you make mistake, do you make them realize the mistake you've made and the steps you've taken to correct it? No, these are things that children absorb. And when they absorb it, they take your way of life, they multiply it by 10, and they act. And you say, ooh, yeah, they multiply it, everything that you do. They are your magnifying glass. That is your life. And sadly, sometimes we try our utmost best. We believe we've talked to them, but that is not just it. What is their body language saying? What is it that they are supposed to say? I mean, sometimes, the body talks, their eyes, their face, their physical expression is there. What is it that they are not saying? They are just hiding. What is troubling them that they are covering up? You know, I can just imagine what else. Imagine if there's something that could have been done to prevent that lady from getting to that extent. Is there a conversation that should have taken place that wasn't properly handled? I remember an incident when my first child was still a pre-teenage. Was about 12, 13, and he told me then that he was interested in a girl, and I said, okay, good. And then he talked, then I was like, okay, so what do you intend to do about it? It's not me. I want to know what you intend. He said nothing. But he was troubled. This feeling was there for this particular girl. I asked him just last month, because he's now 19, do you still like the same girl? He said no. Because they're dealing with so many emotions at that moment in time. You know, I got him help. I talked to him. We discussed. We had a conversation, and I got help from outside to actually have a conversation with him from a guy's angle. His dad talked to him as well, but not to the point, because he's not in that ministry. So I called somebody that could talk to him, and today is the better for it. Sometimes when we say, hey, I don't want people to know, what is it? Talk. Seek help. If your child is sick, not feeling well, you take paracetamol, you pray for them, you lay hands on them, you anoint them. If all this doesn't work, then you take them to hospital. So why is it that you find it difficult to seek for help for your child when they are not feeling fine emotionally? You can't handle it all. You have pressure from your work. You have pressure from society to deal with yourself. Sometimes we're not equipped sometimes to be parents, because, we just take this thing as it comes, you know. You take it as it comes, and things are constantly changing. Like I mentioned, I said the textbook that they use in training you when you were a child is no longer relevant for this generation. There has been upgrade. If you go back to it, they will say revision 90 a particular year it's been revised over and over again. Upgrade happened. The phone we were using when mobile phone came into existence, I'm not using that phone again. Gosh, so many upgrades happening per second. And you expect that the same method you used to train up your first child is the same one you used to train up the second child, the third child, and come on, let's be wise. Times are changing. We need to upgrade some of our strategies, what we are using, how we talk to them, how we relate. We are in information age. The information that you go to work, you're tired, you come back home, you have to deal with your children as well. Parents, you can't do it all. Talk to them. Understand how they are feeling. Don't just put your child in a school and say, okay, the school, you've paid the school fees, you've done everything, and that is it. Don't just take your child to the church and just leave them in the Sunday school, and don't debrief them when they come back home. We talk. We have conversation. What were you taught? In the Sunday school today, we have conversation. I tell them what I was taught in church as well, and we discuss about it. Is this right? Okay, if situation like this happen, how will you deal with it? This is conversation, not just me talking to them, preaching to them. God knows information is coming from left, right, and center. Debrief. Now this is trendy. So what? How do we deal with it? Or do you have friends that is facing similar situation just like this girl? I talked to my children about this situation that is happening presently. And man, you can just hear what they were talking about. You can, a lot is happening in our society. And these are people that will be your children's friends later in life. So we need to wake up to our responsibility. We are going to give accounts one day. So what account will you give? What is going to be? What will you say when the person that gave you this gift is asking you, how did you manage the gift I gave to you? How did you counsel your child? How did you follow up on them? Many of us are very good with our business. We know how to do everything. But when it comes to the issue of managing, with the issue of talking to our children, nah. All we know how to do is to nag, to discipline them, or to throw money at them. That is not everything. We have to listen. We have to discuss, engage them in conversation. And Rome wasn't built in a day. They will start opening up to you at once. And hello, parents, listen. Teenagers like to keep to themselves. You have to go extra mile. They like to keep to themselves. So you have to go extra mile to make sure that they are comfortable in your space. Or make sure that you can get into their world. You may not understand. You are not there to understand. You are there to just make sure that you can be part of the flow. And God will give you wisdom to be able to do all this. It doesn't come by just sitting down, folding of hands, or just praying and praying in tongues that everything will be well with them. You have to take steps. You have to act. You have to do things. You have to create the time. It's not just the money. Money is part of it, but you have to create time. Dedicate space to talk to them, to follow up on them, to teach them spiritual things. Not just carry the Bible and say, okay, this is it, this is it. How can they apply when situation happens? And when you make mistake as a parent, discuss it so that they will learn that they can too make mistake and how they can correct things. This is life. May God help this generation. This is me just sharing my mind, and I hope one or two people has been blessed by this and take necessary steps to actually, have a more loving relationship with their children, so that we can prevent our case from coming out in public like this. God bless you all.